Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new Minecraft video. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing a new mod that has just been released that is just insane. So a couple of weeks ago, I've been beta testing a new mod made by the MD team, who previously worked on AIT, which was made for 1.16.5. You know, like a normal person. But when I started beta testing the mod, I found something very interesting here. This mod has the ability to defeat any other TARDIS mod in the Minecraft community. And no, I am not over-exaggerating here. So enough with me chatting, and let me show you why this mod just is awesome. So if I open up my creative menu here, you'll see that I have a couple of items. A lot of people are probably wondering, what is this? What does a Staten Island remote? What does a sonic screwdriver even do? Or an Artron collector? What does all that stuff even really do? Well, if you could stop all your whining, I'd be happy to enlighten you. To get started in the mod, you're first going to need this little compassy thing. This is a rift scanner, and it will scan to see if there's any rifts in the area. Rift chunks are going to be extremely important, as you're going to need to be able to find one with at least 500 AU in it to be able to grow TARDIS. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you see, if I go into here and nab the TARDIS coral, I'm going to try and place it down. Now, as you can see, it's not really doing anything. As the two problems that are associated with this. The first problem out of many is that you can't place the TARDIS coral anywhere. You're going to need some soul sand, which if I grab some soul sand right here and place it down, it still won't place. Like I happily mentioned, the TARDIS needs to be in a rift chunk, but it also needs to be in a rift chunk that has over 500 AU. To simplify things, Archon energy is basically TARDIS's fuel source, meaning that no matter what you do, you're going to need some Archon energy. Otherwise, yeah, it's not going to end well. Now, there is another useful thing for rift chunks. Now, for this, I'm actually going to grab a sonic screwdriver. If you craft a sonic screwdriver early, you're actually able to use it to identify how much energy is in an Archon chunk and where an Archon chunk is as well. The cool part about this mod is that rather than just having one or two screwdrivers, it adds in three. There's the coral, the mechanical, and lastly, the Renaissance. Now, all of these different sonics are basically like representations of different doctors. Like the coral is 10ths, the mechanical is 12ths, and the Renaissance is 14ths. Now, all these sonics look different, but they have exactly the same functionality. You can shift right click to change the mode, and there are 4 modes. There's interaction mode, overload mode, scanning mode, and TARDIS mode. Interaction mode allows you to unlock stuff like doors, and overload mode allows you to use stuff like TNT. Scanning mode is actually the most useful mode out of them all. You see, if I go into a rift chunk, it'll actually see whether the chunk is a rift chunk or not. And if it is, it will tell you how much AU the chunk has. Unfortunately, this rift chunk doesn't have enough. You'll need at least like 500. But luckily, I have the power of God and enemy on my side. I also have a cool little thing called the power of creative mode. After you found yourself a rift chunk, you can actually go and use some soul sand, place it down, and place down the TARDIS coral. Now you're probably wondering, that's cool and all, but how do I even get a TARDIS coral? Well, I have good news and bad news. Good news is that you don't have to go through the entire world having to find freaking coral. You can just craft it yourself. The bad news is that if I go into GI over here, yeah, it's not exactly easy to craft. Once you place down your TARDIS coral, it will take about a couple minutes for it to grow. So in the meanwhile, you can spend all of your time after growing the thing to be able to get another star. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that you're gonna actually also need another star. Oh, I guess I might as well be waiting here until this thing grows. Once the TARDIS is finished growing, it should look a lot like this. No, I must add, the model looks really good. I love what they did with this. But without further ado, let's head inside. And as you can see, this looks really good. I love how the whole cave looks when it just first grows. It's awesome. If you guys could see before, well, I may or may not have just decided it was a good idea to just take away the brightness, so sorry. Now, you're probably wondering, what do I do with this nether story? Oh, well, all you have to do is just drop it in the water. And then the interior is going to start reconfiguring. So if we head on outside, it'll then seal itself up again, and then after a while, this is check it out. This is the Type 40 capsule. And if you head on inside... Okay, yeah, so apparently my game crashed, so I think it's about time that I mentioned the one caveat of this mod. This mod is in a full-on dynamic beta, meaning that there are a bunch of things that will be changed, and it won't always be the same, so you're going to have to update this game a lot to be able to get the full experience out of this. But trust me, it's worth it. So now, if we enter the interior, you can see that it is redecorated. It looks really cool, actually. Now, as you can see, the console in all of its glory. It looks pristine. Now, of course, before we can get into flight, you might want to check about where's your position in the world, and you can check the monitor. Look at this. Now, you might not want to actually have, the capsule, because, it's kind of just like a cylinder. You don't want that. So, if you want to change that, you can change the exterior. With the capsule interior, the police box, the Q2 booth, the Renegade, the Tardum, the Moyai, Plinth, and Classic. Right now I'm going to go for the police. And if I head outside, you can see the police box in all of its glory. Now you're probably wondering, oh hey, that looks really cool, but I wish there were more exteriors than that one. Have no fear, because the Lightning Kid is here. Anyways, if you go into here, and you click on the blue areas, you can actually change the full-on variant of the console. Now there are two other things before I get onto the other features with the console. So if I go in here, let's see the fuel gauge at the bottom. You can even see it in setting stuff. But you're probably wondering, how do I refuel? Well, if you're wanting to figure out how to use anything, you could just put the Sonic in scanning mode, and then you can hover over any control, see what it does. What you're actually going to want to look for is the handbrake. So I pull the handbrake, it'll turn on. And you can also now refuel pressing this button. See, since we're in a rift chunk, the particle will change from being a circular one to being stars. The TARDIS will refuel power a lot quicker in a rift chunk than it will otherwise. Now we are ready to fly. First, before we fly, we need to actually set our coordinates to somewhere. So I'm going to use Sonic and use the randomizer. Now that we set our coordinates, we can finally take off. And you just heard that sound earlier, and that sound would allow us to land. If you landed before you heard that sound, you would not be getting very far. What you should do is right click, make it go faster, left click, decrease. You can also shift with it, but so now flying fully left shift. And now we have fully won. Before I show you some of the things you should not do, let me actually get into some of the protocols. There are about 4 or 5 different protocols here. Protocol 3 is cloak. So if I head out outside, you can no longer see the console. And it's gradual as well. So anyone without a key basically cannot see it. Now that will consume power, so be careful when you're using it. Protocol 813 is Hail Mary. So Hail Mary is like whenever you take a significant amount of damage, like up to 2 hearts, the targets will come to your rescue and pick you up. Basically, it'll just dematerialize and rematerialize at your location. And actually, Hail Mary will only work if you have Protocol 8116 enabled. But Protocol 116 is autopilot. And now, there's Protocols 19 and 1913. Protocol 19 is isomorphic controls. These controls are in place on the console to where if anyone is inside your TARDIS without a key, you can't use it at all. So if you're worried about someone stealing your TARDIS on the server, deactivate the protocol and, well, they're going to have a hard time trying to do that. Now finally is Protocol 1913, which is basically siege mode. Go to Game Mode Survival. You can hear all the little noises when the power is out. If you want to leave, you can't really do that anymore. The only way you're going to be able to leave the TARDIS is if you deactivate siege mode or you turn them back on power. This is pretty cool in its own right. However, there are a bunch of do's and don'ts when it comes to flying the TARDIS. The main one being, you shouldn't activate siege mode, turn on handbrake, or turn off power when you're flying, because otherwise it will cause the TARDIS to crash. Now in earlier versions of the mod, crashing would just be weird inconvenience and nothing more. Like, okay, like do that and it's just like a form of trolling. But now, they crash the TARDIS, it's now not gonna like me for the next few days. And you can use the Sonic to check to see how much power it has. I mean, how much time it has left with repairs if you shift right click on the exterior. It also works with only a linked Sonic, which I'll show you how to link it. If I go to the telepathic circuits, right click, Sonic is now linked. Now, if I go outside, it will show me how much time it has left. If you try and fly it, it will fly, like it usually does. Only a little more spec than like, and also all the alarms. And if you land it, you'll see that I am not in the same place that I was previously. Now that I'm outside, if I use the Sonic here, it would actually increase the repair time. So basically, moral of the story here, do not crash your TARDIS unless you want to have to wait minutes for this thing to fully repair it. Now I want to show something else off with the console that it can do, but I want to change the interior. So let's go to settings, change to coral, and then look outside and wait for it to finish recalibrating. Now if I head inside, you can actually see the coral interior, which looks really nice, but you probably like, but the console isn't even the right one. It looks awful and out of place. Well, allow me to fix that problem. If I go back into the monitor, go into settings, cache the console insert, and now in just the state of not being able to use it. And you can right click it to change the console. So we have the Coral console over here, the Toyota Alnico, the Steampunk, which is from NTM, and then back to here. And just like the exterior, you can change the variant. We'll change it to white and change it to blue. And if you use the Sonic, it now has changed form. And it works exactly like it would have otherwise. And if we change the hum, it now feels exactly like the Coral console, which is just awesome, by the way. There's still plenty of other features in this mod that are really cool, like being able to use a freaking hammer on the console. But I'll let you guys figure that out on your own. Please do keep in mind that this mod is a dynamic beta, meaning that changes will be coming very, very quickly, and they will also probably change a couple of things in your world. So it's best to not survival just yet. Just play in creative, test out the TARDIS, and see how good it works, because it's awesome. And I recommend this mod to anybody who wants more TARDIS themed adventures in their world. But with all that said, I think it's time for me to finally get off of here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.